Playoffs this year. When they did something last year no team had ever done, and having three separate quarterbacks throw for 10 touchdowns. Jameis Winston's fantastic. Tyrann Mathieu is going to make that defense even better. I love the Jarvis Landry signing. That's going to be great. Chris Olave, it's going to give him some space to grow as a rookie. But there's other pieces here that have made this a great team. Cam Jordan's playing at a high level. That defense was built to win a championship even last year. You add these offensive weapons and a healthy Jameis Winston, plus Jameis Winston on camera, can't get enough. I like the Saints marching to the playoff.
Real quick, are they better than the Bucs in that division?
I think they will. I think they'll take the division just like they did when Drew Brees previously had faced Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he gets paid in the playoffs, not in the regular season. I think they could steal it from them. And what a story that'd be for Jameis Winston and those Saints. But it's going to be tough. I think they do it this year, Brandon.
All right, let's look at the NFC East. The Eagles, look, they made noise on the draft day, not just the guys they selected, but also A.J. Brown, a new number one for Jalen Hurts, another weapon to that offense that needs some help this season. Buy or not buying the hype?
Not buying the hype. Now listen, no roster in the NFL has improved more than the Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion. Some great draft picks, getting A.J. Brown, as you mentioned. But watching Jalen Hurts play the entire time he's been a quarterback for the Eagles, he still doesn't have that quick twitch fire, that recognition of the defense that you see in a Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. And yes, Jalen Hurts is very young, but you've got to be dynamic at that position to get the ball to A.J. Brown. We saw what happened with the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill when he was not as dynamic. Doesn't matter how open A.J. Brown is. So this really comes down to me. Jalen Hurts, I think his ceiling is, mid-tier quarterback. I would love to be wrong about that, but I think with all the weapons that were added, Jalen Hurts still will have a tough time reading the defense and getting the ball to those key players like A.J. Brown.
You talk about a quarterback that needs to take that next step. You can say the same thing for Miami and Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. Look, you got speed on the field, adding Tyreek Hill and others there. Buy or not buying the hype for the Fins here?
Not buying the hype. They did a good job getting Teron Armstead and others to bolster that offensive line. But even in the clips that are already coming out, Tua's underthrowing Tyreek Hill. So one of the two things has to happen. Is Tyreek Hill going to get upset and slow down? Or is Tua Tagovailoa going to all of a sudden find an enormous capacity to hit the ball downfield? It's strange after the success Tua's had in college and really even last season, but he just cannot be consistent. He makes big-time throws at times, but he was never asked to be a slice-and-dice quarterback at Alabama. You have to be that in the pros, and he's already underthrowing Tyreek Hill. I'm not buying the hype here.
All right, don't worry. We're going to buy the hype with Ryan Harris per usual on HQ, so you're always good here in the streets of HQ, my friend. Appreciate your time. Tap in on everything NFL. Hey, don't worry, the guys in Pick Six, we're believing that hype as well. Their latest pod breaking down the AFC West when it comes to Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders, how that might pan out. We're talking those season win total predictions. Just download and give them a follow.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. We got iPhone 13s too. Switched 2 minutes ago, literally right before this.
iPhone 13 on us on any unlimited plan for every customer, with plans starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Gillette introduces the all-new Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar, a razor designed to give you a quick and easy shave. It combines shaving and gentle exfoliation into one efficient stroke. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades, giving you a shave as quick and easy as washing your face, so you can look like you put in an effort, effortlessly. Gillette, the best a man can get.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting headline on this. Pens?
At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Oh, just call me Grace.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Making friends again, Billy?
I like to keep my enemies close.
Guys, excuse me. I didn't quite get that. I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, hey, don't forget about the tense music, too.
What did you say, Sam?
I'd say suspenseful. Aren't they the same thing?
Can we move on, guys? Please.
Alexa, turn on subtitles. And dim the lights. Okay, dimming the lights.
It's time for our Memorial Day sale on the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every Green Thumb, 5K, and all-day dance party starts the night before. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable all night and can help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen, only $19.99, plus 0% interest for 36 months, and free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
Nothing like a weekend in the woods.
It's a good choice all around, like screening for colon cancer. When caught in early stages, it's more treatable. I'm Cologuard. I'm non-invasive, and I detect altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages.
Early stages.
Yep. It's for people 45 plus at average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
We're in.
Hey, summer, the legends are back on the track. SRX Racing on CBS.
I've only invited an elite group of competitors. This will be your biggest competition yet.
You don't come to a challenge and not be ready to win.
This is the most cutthroat game.
The Challenge All Stars, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Find the truth. You ask the right questions.
Has President Trump taken a hard enough stance against Russia's meddling?
The CBS Evening News with Laura O'Donnell.
What up? Reset. We starting the NBA with the Celtics. It's finally over the hump and into the NBA Finals for the first time in 12 years. Boston survived a furious rally by the Heat. Jimmy Butler missing a go-ahead three-pointer with 17 ticks left in the game to win Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals 100-96. The Celtics have made the East Finals 3 times the previous 5 seasons, losing each one. So odds makers have already installed the Warriors as the favorite to win the NBA Finals. Golden State is minus 160 to take home their 4th title since 2015, and the Celtics are plus 140 to get what would be the franchise's 18th championship. Game 1 is Thursday night in San Francisco, with the Warriors favored by 3.5. The 4th round continues at the French Open today. Number 1 seed Iga Swiatek is in action on the women's side today. She's looking to extend her 31-match winning streak. The men's bracket, 2 seed Daniil Medvedev plays the night session against Marin Cilic there. Over to soccer, where Nottingham Forest is back to Premier League for the first time in 23 years. They beat Huddersfield Town 1-0 in the Champions Playoff Final on Sunday. Forest has a rich history, winning back-to-back European Cups in 1979 and 1980. In baseball, White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson is heading to the injured list. He left Sunday's game against the Cubs with a strained right groin. It's the latest in a string of injuries for the White Sox, who are already without Luis Robert there, Eloy Jimenez, and Yohan Moncada.
Final round of the Charles Schwab Challenge that you watched on CBS. Scotty Scheffler ending the lead 2 strokes at 11 under, seeking his 5th PGA Tour victory this season. Par 4-6 for par, 10 feet away. Scheffler have to settle for bogey, just 1 bogey in his first 54 holes for the world number 1. So the leaders making the turn. There was a 5-way tie at 10 under. Scheffler, Harold Varner III, Brendan Todd, Scott Stallings, and Davis Riley. Got them all in there in the highlight rip. Riley here on the par 4 14th. His tee shot hooking it, and it lands the ever so relatable out of bounds would end up settling for double bogey on the hole, so he drops to 8 under. Now 4 golfers tied for the lead. Par 5-11 for Brendan Todd, putting from 10 feet out, missing low side. Settle for bogey. So now 3 golfers at 10 under par. Par 4-12, third shot for Scott Stallings, chipping from way behind the green, lands short. He settles for bogey. So now it's just HV3 and Scheffler, but for Varner, the third, 7 feet out and it lips out, then putting from 5 feet out, he would have to settle for triple bogey. So that was from bad to worse, par 3, 13th, and using an iron for 194. Is it going to clear? It will not. Into the water, settle for double bogey. He's now 5 under, triple bogey that next hole to fall to 2 under, so he's way off down the leaderboard. But for Scheffler, again, issues with his putting. Par 4, 12 from 5 feet out, 7 for bogey, drops to 9 under, opening the door for this guy, Sam Burns. He was so far back. He finished 2 hours ahead of everybody else that we talked about being in contention. So again, he was fine. Par 4, or check that, par 5, 11 to get himself into the day. And this one for 18th. 6:30 Eastern when Scheffler teed off, found himself in the bunker, green side, gets it within 6 feet on the par 4 18th. And so here, a par putt to force a playoff, and Scheffler gets that done. So let's get to the first playoff hole where Scheffler is in form, and then Burns had to wait 2+ hours. The guys are buddies. Burns, 35-1, entering the final round to win this one. And from 38 feet away, must have been working on that putter during the break because he drains it from inside 40 feet. Scheffler cannot believe it. Nice putt. So he's got to do birdie here, Scheffler, to extend the playoff. And all he's got is a 37-footer to try and match Burns, and he does not. Sam Burns winning the Charles Schwab Challenge in that first playoff hole. And again, those two are buddies. It's tied for the largest final round comeback in tournament history, tying Nick Price's comeback in 1994. Burns meeting his best friend, who happens to be the #1 player in the world afterwards. I can assure you, he wanted to beat me more than anybody else, and I wanted to beat him more than anybody else. It's going to be a fun story that we'll have for the rest of our careers. Unfortunately, I got the better end of it this time, but hopefully we're at the beginning of the situation. Time now for Shot of the Day presented by Merrill, the Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do? Well, we were just talking about the NBA Finals, and on the PGA Tour, Daniel Berger with incredible precision that we'll see likely from Steph Curry and Jason Tatum over the next couple of weeks here. How about nothing but net and nothing but cup from Daniel Berger, finishing his week in style. Got into some trouble in the 18th hole, barely avoiding the water, but making up for it with that. Very little green to work with. Flop shot in order to stand any chance of getting the ball close. He did one better, flopping it right into the hole. Saved par with that remarkable shot to finish at 1 under for the tournament. Former champ at Colonial there. All right, let's bring in Kyle Porter, the First Cut Podcast. And before we get to Sam Burns, the winner, what about that shot from Daniel Berger, KP?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You don't see guys dunk shots like that very often. He actually, I was watching that live when it happened, and right after he did that, he took the ball out and kind of examined it and showed it to his caddy. I don't know if there was a mark on it. Maybe he needs to get nothing but net next time. He might have caught some of the rim a little bit on the way in, but an incredible shot by him and a nice highlight kind of early in the day before the leaders teed off.
Yeah, short game, they say find a landing zone. I don't know about actually in the zone and putting it inside the cup there. All right, let's get to Sam Burns. A couple of check marks here, right? 1979 Firebird, check. $1.5 million paycheck, check. And then also being your good buddy in Scotty Scheffler. What continues to stand out to you? A few more check marks here for Sam Burns.
Yeah, Scheffler and Burns actually roomed together quite often on the road. They were roommates, housemates at the Masters, so their entire families, or I guess their wives, were there. They were sharing a house together, so they are really, really good friends. You can kind of tell that in the playoff. Listen, I thought Burns, you'll see him with the winner here, a really long putt from off the green on 18 at Colonial. I thought Burns was awesome early on, and he kind of got in a little bit ahead of some of the windier weather that you saw at Colonial. So as good as he was, he didn't really have to face the hardest conditions of the day. I felt like I wasn't out there, but it seemed like on the broadcast that the most difficult conditions of the day were when Scheffler was playing, when Harold Varner III was playing, some of the guys that were later on in the day. But the thing about Burns that stands out is how good of a putter he is in addition to his ball striking. He's always been really good off the tee. He's really improved his iron play a lot, and he's always been a really good putter. So you put all that together and you get a top 7, 8, 9 guy in the world. And we were talking about this on the First Cut podcast, Tommy. I think Sam Burns might be the most underrated player in the world. I don't know how many PGA Tour fans, golf fans know that he's won 4 times in his career and 3 times this season. So he's really played his way into a position where now you expect him to be a really good major championship player, and he'll have a chance to show that off at the U.S. Open and Open Championship coming up.
Burns benefiting from those blustery conditions, made for the highest scoring event at Colonial since Adam Scott won at 9 under in 2014. To expand on that, what did you see from those conditions that allowed the pack to fall to allow for Burns and Scheffler again? Some notable big numbers in that final round. Some self-inflicted, of course, with HV3 with that putter there in that triple.
Yeah, this was tough to watch. Harold Varner III was 10 under, putting for par on number 12, and he finished it even for the tournament, which is just extraordinary. He shot 45 on the back nine, even though he made a birdie, and you see the kind of the start of that right here with Varner. I think guys just couldn't figure out. This is just a mental mistake. You're just not locked into that second putt right here that he misses. But guys couldn't figure out which way the wind was going, how it was swirling. So it was affecting their shots, but it was also affecting, at times, they would get some of the longer putts gusted. Scotty Scheffler hit some putts that were just not what you would normally see him hit, and I think a lot of it was gusting of winds. That didn't happen necessarily from short range. You'll see Varner's scorecard here. This is tough to look at. A bunch of triple doubles on the back nine, which is what you want when you're Celtics Heat, but not what you want when you're playing at Colonial in the final round. So a lot of it was wind. You know, that's the thing that really kind of confuses these guys at times, especially on a difficult golf course with smaller greens like Colonial.
All right, so let's move on and think and talk about the Memorial, where for Jon Rahm, the world number 2, forced to withdraw from the tournament last year, 6-shot lead after a positive COVID-19 test on the 18th green. We all saw how it played out so dramatically. What are you looking out for this week?
Well, it's a good field. You know, it's probably the last best field we have before the U.S. Open. I think the Canadian Open the following week will be pretty good. Rory committed to that. But this is a great field. You got Rahm, you got Rory at this. It's going to be, I think Rahm is obviously the primary storyline. And the reason is not just because he had to withdraw, as you see here last year with 6-stroke lead after 54 holes, but also he won this tournament the year before. You know, he won it back in 2020, back in kind of the heart of that COVID time when the PGA Tour returned. And he did not win it last year. It had to withdraw right before the U.S. Open, which he went on to win. So he's going to be the primary storyline. He's been awesome at that golf course, but he hasn't been awesome necessarily over the last couple of months on the PGA Tour, at least by his standards. He's still been playing pretty good golf by most people's standards, but by number 1 player in the world standards, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. So I think this is a really good time to kind of reassert himself right before that U.S. Open defense at the Country Club at Brookline in the middle of June.
All right, Kyle Porter breaking it down on CBS Sports HQ. Kyle, certainly appreciate it. Check him out on the First Cut podcast with Rick Gaiman. And, of course, Kyle had referenced talking about this tournament here, the Charles Schwab Challenge. By the way, in terms of the Memorial last year when Rahm had to leave, Patrick Cantlay won the tournament the next day in a 1-hole playoff against Colin Morikawa. Again, First Cut podcast with Rick, Kyle, Greg Ducharme, no mark this time, but they're talking about Sam Burns at the Charles Schwab Challenge and his victory. Tournament recap coming up, DFS picks and betting advice, all happening on the PGA Tour. All right, before we transition into something else, we're hoping you're enjoying this Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for everybody out there for your service, wherever you may be.
Yeah, you didn't take off today? You didn't want to take off today?
No, man, I wanted to kick it here with you.
Exactly.
Phone in my ear, doing shows. It's what we do, man, you know? Dealing with things on a holiday. You know, the greatest thing about it, and everybody knows this, like if your car broke down or you had to go to the bank, it's tough because, you know, most places are closed up.
Yeah, in other words, it's a holiday for everybody, especially in the sports world. Things are still looking per usual. So those are memorable moments that we've seen over time, and Joe Russo helps us break down what we saw over time on the holiday.
Memorial Day represents a moment to celebrate military members who made the ultimate sacrifice defending our country. It's also a time for family and friends to gather around the games they love, and one of the busiest sports weekends of the year. There have been many unforgettable moments on Memorial Day. There was the infamous Memorial Day trouncing by the Celtics, beating the Lakers in Game 1 of the 1985 NBA Finals by 34 points.
And that'll do it. No contest. Game 1. Give it to the Boston Celtics by a wide margin.
Although the Lakers couldn't take the Heat in Game 1, they ultimately had the last laugh in the series.
LA comes to Boston and wins the world title. The final score, the Lakers 111, Boston 100.
Then in 91, the Chicago Bulls finally got over the hump and swept the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, a game best remembered for the Pistons leaving the court early. And just 2 years later, with the Bulls' three-peat hopes hanging in the balance, Michael Jordan dropped 54 on the Knicks to tie up the series.
On Starks. Jordan played well by Starks. Jordan for three. 105 to 95. 4 points for Michael Jordan.
In the year after Jordan's first retirement, Sean Elliott of the Spurs hit the Memorial Day miracle.
He fires the three. And hits it.
And on the diamond, Phillies legend and Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt called it a career.
I feel like I could easily ask the Phillies to make me a part-time player and hang around for a couple of years. But my respect for the game, my teammates, and the fans won't allow me to do that. For these reasons, I've decided to retire as an active player.
With a packed holiday slate again on the calendar, will we see another Memorial Day moment to remember this year? We're about to find out.
Appreciate that, Joe. Always breaking it down for us. Check out the full slate on the diamond as well as on the ice. Starting with the Brewers and Cubs at 105, and the Twins about 5 minutes later. They're in Detroit against the Tigers, and even the Padres and Cardinals. Manny Machado expected maybe to be in that lineup after missing.
Well, I think the Cubs going under. And I already know the Twins going to win. San Diego. Easy.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. We got iPhone 13s too. Switched 2 minutes ago, literally right before this. iPhone 13 on us on any unlimited plan for every customer. With plans starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
From the very first touch, Pampers, the #1 pediatrician recommended brand, helps keep baby's skin drier and healthier, so every touch will protect like the first. Pampers.
It's time for our Memorial Day sale on the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every Green Thumb, 5K, and all-day dance party starts the night before. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable all night and can help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen now only $19.99, plus 0% interest for 30 months, and free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
Homegrown tomatoes. Nice.
I want to feel in control of my health, so I do what I can.
What about screening for colon cancer? When caught in early stages, it's more treatable. I'm Cologuard. I'm non-invasive, and I detect altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancer, even in early stages.
Early stages?
Yep. It's for people 45 plus at average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
Consider it done.
Did you know more golfers use Ship Sticks to ship their clubs than ever before? That
That's right, Chipsticks is trusted by millions of golfers. No more dragging your clubs through the airport, and no more worries about lost and damaged clubs. Trust the experts at Chipsticks to ship your clubs hassle-free. We'll pick up your clubs from home or office and deliver them safely and on time. Pack, ship, tee off. It's easier than you think. Make it simple. Make it Chipsticks.
It's hard to get by just upon a smile.
Introducing the all-new Infiniti QX60. Take on your wild world in style.
Like a child, the game you love, taking it to the next level. The big three, CBS.
The future of our species is at great risk. Master Chief and the other Spartans are our only hope.
Hello, Master Chief.
Sergeant, on me.
This Memorial Day, honor our fallen heroes with TAPS across America. For more information on how to participate, go to cbs.com/taps.
Blue Jays in LA against the Angels. Toronto up 3-0 in this series, looking for the sweep. Be the first since 1992 when it comes to the Halos. They've been struggling. They've lost 4 straight, 8 of the last 11, but no worries. Showtime is here to perform. Bottom of the first, that is gone. Solo jack for Shohei Ohtani takes a 1-0 lead at that point for LA. His 10th home run of the season. He wasn't done. Bottom of the third just hammers that one. Swinging for the trees, and that's exactly where it lands. 2-run bomb. Angels cut into a deficit, 6-4 at that point. Ohtani's 9th multi-home run game of his career, 3rd this season. Get the Cowboy, man. Load it up. Bottom of the fourth, tied at 6. Runner at first, no outs. Taylor Ward also goes deep. This one back to the Rocks, though. A 2-run jack there. The Angels take a lead 8-6 at that point. His 10th home run of the season. He was 2 for 3 on the day. The bats were definitely alive for the Angels. That's not the problem. Later, Max Massey rips that one deep to center. I mean, it's just a home run derby there at that point for LA. Take a 10-9 lead. So all smiles around. Ohtani, Ward, Sassy, 8 for 12, 4 home runs, 3 to 3 some. They had to get a little work out there. Top of the 8th, Bo Bichette. It's a drive to center field. Mike Trout is tracking, but that's as far as he's going to go because he ran out of real estate there. Blue Jays able to tie with that jack at 10. 5th tie of the game, by the way. So later in the inning, Marshall goes to second, and Lourdes Gurriel rips one. Jerry Walsh, he can't get it. Alejandro Kirk, he comes in to score the RBI double. Blue Jays up 11-10. Dugout loving it. That's the score they win by. Get the sweep. As I mentioned, the first time since 1992. It's their 5th straight win, longest of the season of the Angels. It's just been bad. 5th straight loss, longest streak of the season. They've now lost 9 of the past 12 games out there for the Halos. It's now CBS Sports MLB writer Matt Snyder and Matt. I mean, the Halos going through a rough patch here. I mentioned 5th straight loss there, despite Ohtani and others. The bats were alive, but what's been the key to their struggle so far? Well, a lot of it is pitching, and specifically in the bullpen. They've had a few really, really bad meltdowns, including yesterday. They had a nice lead there in the 7th inning, and it just kind of fell apart on them. Mike Trout is actually going through his slump on his own, but, that's probably not going to be that big of a deal. Trout will bounce back. The pitching is a bigger concern. I do think they have better pieces in the bullpen than they've had in the last several years, and they're probably going to get better. But, they've lost 9 of the last 12, 5 in a row, so it's definitely it's not going to get any easier. By the way, their next 3 face the Yankees starting on Tuesday. So if you think 5 in a row is a problem, let's just say maybe 6 or 7 would be really bad for the Halos here. But you mentioned it there, of course, Trout going through a slump. We also saw Ohtani before last night. From a scale of 1 to 10, the Halos, will they waste another year with these two stars in the clubhouse here?
Oh man, that hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, we've been lamenting for years that they're just not good enough. We're not going to see Mike Trout in a deep playoff run. Now we have Ohtani to loop in. Maybe at 5. I don't know. Look, if the playoffs started right now, they would be in the American League. We have the expanded playoffs now. There's 6 seeds in each league. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm really wishy-washy on it. I'm on the fence. I guess maybe they'll make it, but I'm not confident.
All right, we'll see. Hey, look, you know what? 5 is not too bad at this point in the season.
Oh, it's hot in here. Really hot.
Oh, yeah.
Take the Twins, Padres, the Giants, Houston, Marlins, Cleveland, Boston, Mets, Rays, Arizona, and the Dodgers. Easy.
The pitching, they could be just as good as the Dodgers, but it's the offense is where they're not going to match up. But hey, in a short series, you never know. They definitely have the horses there. They could knock off the Dodgers for sure.
All right, they're first in the NL Central as it stands right now. Milwaukee cooking. NFL East, the Mets and the Phillies are 27th loss of the season. Now, Philly is 10.5 games back in the division. How do we kind of view them now after that sweep?
They self-sabotage better than anybody else in baseball. This team, you've never seen anybody shoot themselves in the foot more than the Phillies. It's whether it's the bullpen, whether it's the defense making a stupid mistake, whether it's the offense being completely inconsistent. This team has enough talent to do something like win 10 out of 14 games, but they also could lose 7 out of 10 at the drop of a hat. It's they're just going to be really inconsistent throughout the season. Offensively, they should be so much better. Reese Hoskins should be better. JT Realmuto should be better. Kyle Schwarber should be more consistent. The one thing you have, which is interesting,